All right, good afternoon. Good afternoon. And it is a very good afternoon, October 7th, 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And this is the Market Pulse, right? Market Pulse. So today, hey, if you're making money and you're utilizing these trades that I'm giving you, do me a favor, give me a little like, a little pound. I'm doing this just strictly because I want to share the abundance of how to make money in these markets, especially in the volatile times. So, and if you do give me a like, I'm probably going to do a secret insider of how exactly I pick these trades and how to make money in these markets. But anyway, let's dive in. So today the markets were robust, robust, robust. This is exactly what we're setting up for. But basically, couple things, man. There was basically like some. I think the market's getting used to this inflation issue. So tomorrow is job numbers. So we expected this thing to run into jobs. So tomorrow's a big. Are we going to continue higher? Um, if I hate to say this, man, but if jobs report comes weaker, I think the market's going to price in that potentially, not that's going to happen, but potentially that the Fed might not taper. So that will make the markets go robust and tech zoom higher. Not that that's going to happen. I think the Fed will taper. They should taper, but only my opinion. But basically, we just want to see what the market is thinking, especially, having a nice little rally today. Also, Russia said something about easing up the gas and oil shortages. So that kind of seems to be helping the markets. One thing you should look at the 10-year note because that's rising. So if that continues to rise, it is going to sell off tech and there'll be a rotation. So keep that in mind. Okay. So if there's a rotation, usually you'll see, and this thing keeps going up, tech will be sold off and then they go back into tech because it's a safe haven despite the interest rates going higher. But just know that that's how funds operate. All right, so let's dive in because a lot of movers today. The S&P 500 today. So again, like we said, 15 minutes time frame. We're just looking for swings off the 50 or back to the 50. We're using the MACDs, the 50-day moving average, and key thing levels. So we want to note that. We want to make sure that we're trading with the markets and not against them. So yesterday, the S&P 500 it had this level of 4370, super strong level. We couldn't break above that. Yesterday at the close, so yesterday was kind of a weird day. We were kind of going sideways, and then right around like after lunch, right into the close, we gapped up higher, bounced off the 50. We MACDs gave you a fresh set of MACDs, saying momentum was about to start for this swing. And basically, we went to the high. So you could have locked in some gains there at 43.64. If you held that, then you're doing really well and probably should sell close to 44.30 and then roll up with profits. We're pretty far away from the 50-day moving average, but there could be a blow and go here at this 44.30. What I mean by that, it means that it can probably rally, go up to approximately 44.40, and then I don't know what's going to happen up there. Again, tomorrow's a different set of news that could move the markets, but the market likes the news. It likes what I heard today. So, also in the news that Biden came out and said he's going to do a virtual meeting with Z to just regarding this war thing. But I did see NOC go up, which is a Northrop Grumman, which is it's going up. So basically, that's alarming because that usually seems that's like a war company, but just FYI. But anyway, let's go back in here. So how to take advantage of this? So more likely, I wouldn't get into a new position here because we're pretty far away from the 50 and the MACDs are ending. So the trade was yesterday. Boom, boom. You could have taken it there, added more today because we're in the middle of it, but we're coming to a close, right? So lock in some gains. Congratulations if you took that trade and just wait for the next trade up or down, right? So more likely, if high probability is probably going to meet that 50 is going to come up, this is going to come back down, probably going to retest at 4370, maybe 4400. All right, NASDAQ got hammered, and the NASDAQ basically broke again. Same type of thing, broke these highs yesterday. Same type of thing, right at the with time. Like after lunch, we started seeing some strength going into the fresh at the MACD, started rallying, bounced off the 50, taking that trade right there. I don't trade NASDAQ, but I like to cover it. But basically, you could have locked in there. And today, same type of thing as the XPX. You could have gapped up and taken that trade. Now, gap ups. Why do you take that gap up? Well, easy, because it gapped up. You have momentum on your side. You gap up. If you're wrong in that trade, then you get out of it, right? If it gaps up, breaks lower, you're out. But if it gaps up and you know what's going down with the markets, it's gapping up, and you know your levels, just take it to the next level. Easy trade. All right. Russell, this was weaker yesterday. Um, at lunch, I talked about potentially taking this trade back to the 50, which was great. And right there, you had a same thing as the other markets. You had a confirmed fresh set of MACDs momentum going back to the 50, taking that trade. And this morning, gapped up. I actually alerted this one on the Telegram chat. So if you want access to that, let me know and I'll give you access. But basically, right off the bat, you could have taken that trade. That's a trade we took. And if you knew levels, you had the 24.46. Then you have some other levels up here, and it's coming close to the end. Same as the NASDAQ. So not time to get greedy. Time to lock in some gains, all right? And wait for the next trade to come back up. So you could take the trade back down to the 50, back down to the 50, if they start breaking lower. Again, news report tomorrow, job report, that could, if the market likes what it hears, it could just go again. Or it could sell off. So again, I like to be on the side of caution and lock in my gains and wait for tomorrow. Now we still have two other moves today. We're going to have the after lunch move, and then we're also going to have the at the close move. So let's see what happens there. Alphabet. This was a home run. Guys, we call this one. If you've been following me all week, you have done extremely well on Alphabet. Alphabet was one of the strongest ones. I've been telling you since setting up. We took that trade at lunch yesterday. Let me just show you what it looks like. We took this trade fresh out of MACDs up to the highs, came back down. This is textbook right here. Basically bounced off the 50, fresh out of MACDs, and we're off to the races. Today, it gapped up and kept going. Now, keep in mind, 2,800 is pretty strong. We filled in the gap when we gapped down before. So I don't think 2,800 is going to break, but it could be a blow and go. Watch the S&P 500. If the S&P breaks 4430, 2,800 could break, and it could probably give you another 20 points. But I would take that as a trade, not to hold on. But if you locked in your gains and you're happy with it, it's okay. There's no shame in chasing it. Just lock in those gains and just wait. We're going to wait for the 50. You can take the trade back to the 50 here. It looks like the MACDs are dying down, so it's probably going to die down, and this momentum is going to be done. Let it die down. Let it come back. There'll be another trade. I mentioned this at the Telegram chat. I'm looking for 2760, potentially retest and a bounce off of there if we continue higher. All right, Amazon. Woo! Amazon off to the races. Look at Amazon. Amazon yesterday, fresh set of MACDs. We bounced. You could have taken that trade back to the 50, and look what happened. As soon as the whole market's changed, this thing just ran up, bounced off of MACDs, bounce off the 50 and off to the races. You could have taken that trade to the previous day's highs, right? Or you could have just ridden it out and taken that trade. Now this morning it's still going. MACDs give you the signs it was gonna die off, so you could have locked in those gains. Today it just kept on giving. Fresh set of MACDs, but we're pretty far away from the 50. I don't know if you held on to that. More likely, I wouldn't hold on to that. But if you did hold on to that, you would have gotten a lot more. Now Amazon is dying down. Now, I did mention that there was a double bottom on the dailies on Amazon, so that's also why it's probably breaking through. So I'm going to cover dailies later on and see what are the potential trades for a much longer time period. But remember, this is just 1 or 2 days tops. But basically, we're looking at Amazon, killer. Now, same thing as XPX. XPX goes 4430, Google 2800. This can break 3321. All right, keep that in mind. All right, Tesla. I also alerted this one. I wasn't sure about Tesla because Tesla's been acting a little funny. But I think the move happened in Tesla yesterday. We had a 764 to 787. It's about a 20, 30 point move. So even though the markets are going up, Tesla is kind of lingering, toying with this 50-day moving average. So we'll know about the next hour or so if this is going to continue, but the MACDs are dying down. If the MACDs turn, but if it breaks zero, then this trade is a bust, and I will probably get out of the trade and wait for another trade later. But right now, we're just seeing it's nice setup. We're looking probably, pick the option you want. I wouldn't pay close to the money. It'd be for a day or two, but we're probably looking a retest of our 791 800. But just I'm just giving it another hour, and we'll see what happens there. I think in another hour we'll determine whether this thing's going to go. All right, ISRG. We talked about this yesterday. Look at this. Look at this beautiful, beautiful setup, right? 3-for-1 stock split, came back up, bounced off the zero, came back to the 50-day moving average, and fresh set of MACDs. Now, what does MACDs mean? It means momentum. The momentum is just starting up to go. And as long as the stock is going up, that means momentum is going up. They are buying it, buying it, buying it, buying it, buying it. If you held on to today, and you're probably out of this with a nice profits for 346 from about 332. Super nice. It is going to pull back. There'll be another trade. Don't chase the trade. Let it come back to the 50. MACDs are dying down, telling me that it's probably going to set up. This is usually normal for at lunch movement. All right. Chipotle. Chipotle's looking vicious. Wow, look at this trade. Bounced off the zero, same type of thing. Was toying with the 50 yesterday. Now, I did set this up for this morning. Now, someone asked me, how far away did you take the trade? How far away from the 50? And the answer is yes. The reason being is we have a fresh set of MACDs. So even though we couldn't trade overnight, I'm going to take that trade. Why? Because once again, if you take the trade and you're wrong and it goes down, you're out of it. But again, you just need to position size correctly. Don't load your boat. Don't risk more than what you can afford to lose. But basically, does it help if you buy, a small position and watch it go because we have momentum on our side? MACD bounce zero. You got to trust these MACDs. Momentum's telling you that they are going to buy as long as the price action keeps going higher and we break the previous days or 2 days highs before, which is 858. Now, next level up, we're looking at 1882. That's probably the next level up. But the MACDs are coming to a close here. So if you're taking that trade today, it's okay to lock in some gains, because the name of this game, especially this, what I'm showing you right now, is to lock in gains. So locking in gains. All right, so let it come back to the 50. There is a chance that we could have a blow and go. The VIX went down today. So again, VIX is at 1949. If you're watching me, VIX has been trading between 24 and 20. So yesterday, if you're watching the VIX actually this morning broke down 20 and we're at 19. If it goes down to 18, that's very bullish for the markets, and that's why we can have a blow and go. So currently, VIX is basing right at this 19 area. So if we can go back higher a little bit, which would be amazing for a blow and go towards power hour. So but watch the markets. If you have in your gains, lock it in. Tesla, there it goes. It's like I said, in the next hour, we'll know about Tesla, if this is going to come to fruition and if this is going to go. So this might be a bust, but can you take this? I did take a long position here, but a very small position. And if it fails, I'm going to get out and probably reverse it or just probably wait to see what the overall market is going to do. All right, 13 minutes. I went 3 minutes too long. All right, guys, go out there, go get it, and we'll see you tomorrow.